Hello, welcome everyone to our intro webinar series. This is a series of short webinars that are meant to give you a snapshot of the members of the Yakima Basin Joint Board and a little bit of information on how water moves through the Yakima Basin. I'm Kelsey Green. I'm a consultant to the Yakima Basin Joint Board, focusing on communications and outreach. And each of these webinars, we interview one member of the Joint Board. And today we have Justin Harder with Naches-Selah Irrigation District. Welcome, Justin.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Excellent. So we're just gonna kind of have a chat today and answer some questions. And then at the end of the webinar, there'll be a contact sheet with some information on how to reach Justin or how to learn more about the Yakima Basin Joint Board. All right. Well, Justin, I'd love to hear about you if you're willing to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are, what your role is, how long you've been in your role, anything you'd like to share today.
You introduced me there. So I'm district manager of Naches-Selah Irrigation District. Have been the manager since December of 2004. So 19 years with the district. Um, Managing a relatively smaller district, manager has a lot of roles to serve. And so I can be seen in the office, at meetings. Other times I'm out on the canal bank, sometimes on heavy equipment, working on electronics. So get a wide variety of things I get to do in my day-to-day activities.
Excellent. Thanks, Justin. Okay. Well, I'm pulling up a map here of Washington State. And Justin, if you're willing to kind of explain what you're seeing in this map here and tell us a little bit about kind of how the area that you serve, is really encompassed inside of the state.
All right. So the Yakima Basin, it's a large river basin centrally located in Washington State, about 4 million acres that it encompasses. The Yakima and the Naches River being a tributary of it. And so the joint board members are some of the canals that serve throughout the basin there, a number of other canals and that serve the area. And it's a very productive agricultural area, as well as the fish fisheries in their basin, the communities. So this is where we enjoy to work and live as members.
Excellent. Thanks. And we know it is, as you mentioned, an important agricultural region. Can you tell me a little bit about what is grown in the Yakima Basin?
Um, so for Naches-Selah, we're predominantly orchard, so tree fruit, but there's hops and hay, a lot of dairy production, and some other specialty crops, and as well as forage crops grown throughout the basin.
Yeah, excellent. Great. Well, you mentioned the basin, so I'll just zoom in here to a map, really kind of focusing in on the Yakima Basin and the different member districts of the Joint Board. And I'm hoping you can sort of describe what we're looking at here.
All right. So you have the member irrigation districts in the city of Yakima. Naches-Selah, we're located centrally in the basin with a number of our member districts close by. A few of us are on the Naches River arm off of the Yakima River. So Yakima Tieton off the Tieton River, and the city of Yakima and Naches-Selah are diverters off that river portion of the basin. The
Excellent.
the Looking out further, the basin is on the eastern side of the Cascade Mountains. So our water supplies from rain and snowfall into the mountains there, upper parts of the watershed, and flows down the rivers there through the spring. And as the snow melts, there's 5 reservoirs that the Bureau of Reclamation constructed since the reclamation project started in 1905. And as all members of the joint board, we have contractual relationships for water supply from the Department of or from the Bureau of Reclamation.
All right, great. Thanks, Justin. So Justin, as I understand, you've taken a new position as the president of the Yakima Basin Joint Board. I'd love to hear about that.
Well, there's been a few presidents before me in my time that I've been attending the meetings, so I got to learn from them. So I was given the opportunity to become president and elected by the members, um, and want to carry forward. A lot of people have served on the joint board representing their districts and their interests. So continuing on those lines to, we're doing a lot of outreach like you're helping us with, doing these webinars, tours. So we want to give people opportunity to see what's going on in the Yakima Basin, learn more about it, and stay informed.
Excellent. Great. Well, zooming in here, we see your district, as you mentioned, and I would love to hear a little bit more about your district, who you serve and what's grown here, and just kind of some interesting facts about your district.
So Naches-Selah Irrigation District, we're in the northern part of Yakima County. We serve along the north side of the Naches Valley there, diverting off the Naches River above the confluence with the Tieton River. So Bumping Reservoir is the only reclamation reservoir above our diversion, but our water is 92% in-stream flow, sometimes called senior rights or non-paradable rights. And we do have a storage contract with the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation for storage water out of Bumping Reservoir to add to our supply. And that portion of our supply is paradable, so it is impacted in drought years where it's rationed along with all the other paradable users. So we come off the river. The Selah Valley Canal was started in 1888 by a private development. Three hop growers growing hops in the Puyallup and Tacoma area saw the opportunity to build a canal and draw agricultural to the area there. So by 1892, 25 miles of the canal was completed. So water's been flowing since before 1892. As I shared before, we're heavily cropped with orchards, tree fruit, apples, cherries, pears. Um, we do have some other specialty crops in our area, but 80% of our acreage is under the tree fruit use. We also have a lot of hobby farms, smaller acreage, pastures, hay production, and a lot of residential areas. They're a popular place in the valley for people to live. Number of the families have been here since early last century, so they're here multiple generations farming the same land and growing their fruit production operations. That number of them farm on other member districts of the joint board and across the Yakima Basin and further outside in the Columbia Basin and other irrigated areas of the state. So
Yeah.
our main canal is 15 miles long. We have a total of 3.5 miles of concrete line canal or line tunnels that are on that section of the main canal. And additionally, we have over 47 miles of pipe system to distribute to our water users. Of that, we have over 1,800 landowner accounts that are using water on just under 11,000 acres.
Excellent. Thanks, Justin. That's a great overview of your district. And I'm curious if you can speak to how your district and or the Yakima Basin Joint Board interface with the Yakima Basin Integrated Plan.
Um, so the joint board is supportive. A number of our members sit on the work group of the integrated plan. For Naches-Selah, we have passed resolutions of support. We're not a member of the work group, but I have had the opportunity to attend the meetings since they started in June of 2009. It's been good to be a firsthand witness to the process and collaboration going on with the many different stakeholders and members of the work group on the integrated plan. Back to the joint board, we have activities, a number of the members are involved and pushing forward the cooperation, collaboration, that's the basis of the integrated plan, not just for irrigation and municipal water supplies, but other interests of the 7 elements of the integrated plan.
Yeah, excellent. All right, thanks, Justin. Okay, well, looking ahead to the rest of 2024 and beyond, curious about what's coming up for you and what kinds of things will you be working on?
Well, as every year we get the water flowing again in the system, 136 years of serving our communities and farms. So it's always a challenge every spring to get that going, making sure things are working correctly. Um, we try to take it slow and make sure we don't have any problems along the way. It's get one chance every year to get it done right starting up. Not that we don't have to stop sometimes, have disruptions, but again, it's with changes made to the system. Not too many changes made this last season, but that's been our cycle as I've been manager. Is we've made changes, major changes throughout the years, and each spring you got to bring the water in and see that the changes are working as you want planned, and make adjustments where you need to.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, great. And Justin, as I understand, you are really kind of leading the way in introducing some innovative technologies to your system, and I'd love to hear about some of those that you've been implementing.
All right. So for Naches-Selah, um, the district was in need of modernizing, and the board hired me with the charge of taking on improvements to the district. It's been real rewarding time. Uh, in that, we've replaced wood facilities. We had wood flume trestles that carried water over low points, spanned small canyons and low gullies there. These facilities were over 80 years old and had seen their time of use. Um, Along with that, we're converting pipe laterals into, or converting open canal laterals into pipe. And so improving the efficiency of our system. And with all these gains with conservation and more efficient system, we added to the challenge of operating our system. So automation with automated gates and valves, telemetry system with SCADA. Um, we've been very active in that, using some technologies to better operate our canals, provide better service and safer operation with constant monitoring, and not having to go out in the middle of the night to deal with things. So that saved for the employees better control through that. So with this, we're matching the improvements that the growers are doing on their farms. They adopt a lot of technology and implement higher efficient irrigation practices. So getting a 100-plus-year-old canal to match those user demands is a challenge, and it's been achieved. We've been full automation since 2012,
Wow.
so we continue to benefit from that system and those investments. Um, the major improvements of replacing wood flumes were in 2015, and the last mile of wood flume was replaced in 2022. So it's good to see those achievements and keep improving the system that all our water users rely on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. Well, it sounds like there are some challenges to leading your district, and curious about some of your favorite parts about being the manager of your district.
It's enjoyable to get out, work with a crew and landowners. All those parts I enjoy of it. The neat history of our canal and the area that we serve. Carrying on that, I feel some responsibility to perform, and while my time here, move the district forward, and you know, early last century, there's a lot of improvements that still continue to flow water. Um, the neat part of seeing those facilities still in use. Other side of it's the challenge of improving those facilities or replacing them is has been my time working here. Again, the landowners, they're great to serve. Neat to see the crops being grown. Other ones, the seasonal,
Hmm.
starting up in the spring, working through the heat of the summer, the crops coming on, and the harvest in the fall. And then the winter, we usually have activities throughout the winter, so it's all 4 seasons get to work through. And for me as a manager, I'm inside and outdoors, so I get a balance of both workplaces I enjoy.
That's great. And as I understand, in your spare time, you're quite the skier.
Yeah, I do enjoy snow skiing, frequent White Pass ski area, and have the view of get to use the water more than once there. Get a ski on in the snow, and as it melts off, it becomes our water supply for the basin.
Yeah, excellent. Great, Justin. Well, any other thoughts you had for us before we wrap up today?
No, I think that covers it. People are welcome. We'll be providing information on where to find more information, and you know, with the joint board, um, we'll be making more of these opportunities.
All right, well, that wraps up our webinar for today. And as mentioned, I'm going to pull up a contact sheet here. If you'd like to learn more about the Yakima Basin Joint Board, you can access our link tree where we have links to all the member districts and some other great information. If you'd like to reach Justin, here is the URL for his district. All right, Justin. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to meet with you today. And everyone out there, thanks for listening and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Kelsey, and everybody that joined us.